Come on, Peter.
What? I don't think
Ready, pass.
Oh!
Almost.
Oh, oh!
Come on, Peter. Ready, pass.
Nice.
Yeah! Don't let him count you out. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Don't try to match his speed. He's going to be faster than you.
Nice sport.
Oh.
Ready, pass.
No, no.
Ready, pass.
Double it back down, Peter. Double it back down.
Ready, pass.
Come on, Peter.
Ready, pass.
Tension forward on you, Peter.
Point. Ready, pass.
You got him on the shoulder. Came in. I was also looking at his place in the field anymore.
Ready, pass.
Nice.
defense. Ready, defense. Ready, defense. Point. Ready, defense. Ready, defense.
All on guard. All touch point on guard. All touch. All touch point. All touch point.
Come on, Peter. Come on, Peter.
All touch. On guard. Sure. On target. On guard. Ready, fence. Stop, point. On guard. Ready, fence. On guard. Ready, fence.
Come on, Peter.
All stop, point. On guard. Point. On guard. All done. Point.
Alright, this is going to be a dive through your bouts, Peter, for the Epee tournament down at Tri Weapon in Maryland on March 20th. So, what I want to actually do first is call attention to, honestly, a standout thing, which is your bout times. You had the most Epee bouting of everyone, and on nearly twice as much as Everest. This is incredible. Well done. You honestly do a really good job of being really, really defensive in your bouting and not falling for feints, for somebody trying to get you to do something stupid. You do a really, really good job of just avoiding provocations, fencing defensively, and making them come to you. Doesn't always work, but it's enough where you can what I see you do sometimes is start to pick up on what they're doing, and it's because you're taking your time in the bout, and that is a skill that is just one of the hardest things to teach. So the fact that you just kind of do it, it's fantastic. So I want to start with that because it's phenomenal. You did the best out of everyone at this tournament doing that. All right. And now for things that you didn't do so great.
Come on, Peter.
All right. Nope, that's not a good point. There we go. All right, so this is both of you on guard right now. Do we see the daylight between his arm and his torso? Do we notice the lack of daylight between your arm and your torso? So, right now, his bell guard is the furthest thing in front of his entire body. Right now, your toe is the furthest forward thing. And what we're gonna see a couple times is because your arm ends up so far back, we're gonna see the other fencer take that as a very, very straightforward provocation to stab you in the leg.
Ready, fence.
Because your arm is so far back. When you take a forward step sometimes, especially if you sink down just a little bit, your shin actually ends up in front of your bell guard. Which means your weapon can't defend you. There we go, right there. There's a perfect example of what your arm being behind your toe does.
Come on, Peter.
Alright, now that time he flushed into you, but the initial down low, and then boom. Having your arm in front of you in Epee
Nice.
really lets you be more safer, and that touch, beautiful. You have an amazing just hand coming straight forward. It's a problem when we want to do drills, but for bouting, it's phenomenal. It's A+. It just goes. It does what it needs to do, and I can't fault that. I mean, I want to laud it. Like, it's good. Good job. Okay. He did the right thing by running past there. Alright, so do we see... I'll pause this right now. Alright. Oh, pause it too late. Alright. Do we see how your shoulders are hunched forward here? Versus how your opponents are like back and nice and loose? What's going on right here, what I want you to do, is I want you to go stand in front of a mirror. Come on guard. And I want you to put your hand behind your back. Just like you would with fencing on guard. And what I want you to do is take note of where do your shoulders go. Do they stay in the exact same spot? Or do they hunch slightly forward? And if at any point in you moving your arm behind your back, your shoulders start to come forward, you need to stop putting your hand behind your back. So, the reason that I don't teach hand behind the back, and the reason that I don't like it, besides the fact that some foil referees will card you for it, is that if you do not have the shoulder and back flexibility for it, what can actually end up happening is you start to limit your range of mobility because it pushes your shoulders forward and will start to hunch yourself in on, like hunch your torso in. It'll scrunch it all up, and it's really problematic. So if you could move that hand from behind your back to say like even just your hip, just like make a fist, put it on your hip, be a tea kettle, like that alone could be a massive improvement. I don't know because you haven't done it. You've always had the hand behind your back, but if we could start doing hand on your hip, it'd be such an improvement, I think.
Don't try to match his speed. He's going to be faster than you.
Yeah. Alright. We got to talk about your legs. Specifically your knees. And the fact that your knees don't bend. Like, ever. You do have one good series in here where your knees bend fantastically. Alright. This one. This is the one where your knees bend great. Do this more, please. Notice you got this great lunge. I mean, you're really hunched forward. Part of that is probably not helped by your back arm. Your back foot's coming up. The other guy's like casually parrying it. You've got a redoublement. You've got a flunge in there. Okay, this is a whole series of... I know I haven't taught this as a lesson. I don't know where you picked up on this. I'm scared to ask. If it works, I'm obligated to applaud it as a coach, but I really don't. I don't like that this is happening right now. And then you came back on guard, you stood straight up, and then you bent your knees again. But it's too late. The other guy's taking back over. Yep. Oh, it went off target. Okay. Just that before. Bend your knees, please, please, please bend them, bend them. All right, so you got all this like pokey, 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 pokey. Poke, take his blade, stab him, or like turn it into something. Although you're also like feeling him out. You're not being stupid. I'm like so on the fence of like whether I really want you to do something with that or to be nice and defensive and safe. I'm in between. The fact you're not getting stabbed though, honestly, that's the best part here. So keep doing what you're doing. All right, thing I will nitpick here. Your back leg. Why is it so far behind you? So when you do bend your back leg, it ends up so far behind you. And then when you go to lunge, your lunge is probably like a foot shorter than it could be, minimally, because your back leg's so far behind you, and that's where your lunge is starting from, is the back leg point of contact, right? If your back leg was to be just even a little bit more under you, oh my goodness, you could get so much more lunge on that. It'd be so much more casual. It'd be more comfortable for you. It'd be just a much better experience. And then rather than poking at him right there, you probably could have landed. Alright. I again want to comment on the fact your elbow is disappearing behind your torso. Put that in front of you. You have like a good blade on guard point. So I'm not totally sure if I like the way the blade kind of slaps or sinks downwards. Yeah. It makes it hard when you do lessons, because if you notice these other fencers, their blades are always either horizontal, like parallel to the floor, or like searching and sweeping and bouncing, or a little bit up even. When a blade is down to the ground, you actually make a lot of actions a little bit harder for yourself, unless you're trying to set something up out of them. Which works if you're trying to set something up out of them. The problem with you slanting your blade down is we've never done this.
Forward on you, Peter.
So trying to make that work just doesn't. I wish it did, but we've just never really. We've run some lessons on it. Like don't get me wrong, but they are not the majority of what we've done. So me seeing you do that makes me go, why are you doing that? Because it's not what we really drill. There are a lot of better actions we can drill instead. And given the fact you are a relatively taller individual, so trying to take into that lower line can sometimes mean you fighting into your opponent's bell guard, but fighting into a higher line against people your height or just near enough or lower, shorter than you, honestly, that's going to be stronger for you. Like, you don't want to have to go lower. You want to go higher. So if we could really work with you to get that blade parallel to the floor or even raised just a little bit, especially if you want to translate into foil, it would help. All right, I want to talk about this last this last pass, this last point. All right, honestly, the fact you're taking steps back and forth, I think that's fine. This, when you just extend out at him and then hold it. Okay. You started doing this, I want to say, when we did the Philly tournament. I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know. You don't need to. As soon as the action's called, or as soon as the halt said, you can come back up, stand back up. You don't have to hold anything. You might have when we did probably dry bouting. I'm trying to think when you would have picked this up. because I'm trying to figure that out as a coach of like when did you learn this so I can make sure to like not teach this again. I don't remember. I don't know. If you remember when if I was the bad influence and I said that this was like, hey, let's do this for lessons or whatever, please tell me, and that way I can remove it from my curriculum or make an adjustment. Because you don't need to. You don't need to stand out there and hold it, try to pretend that, like, look at here, I didn't stab him, or I did stab him. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't. You do have a very clean hand extension. You really do. A lot of fencers have a tendency to want to pump their arm, but your arm comes straight forward really smoothly. It's actually quite good.
Ready, fence.
Hey, your hand comes straight. Oh, he pumped just a second. But it was kind of like into a parry.
Yeah!
Nice. Yeah,
Nice.
That's your ability to just extend your hand straight forward with no pumping, no hesitation. Wow, that's good. Oh, if we can get your legs to work with it, oh, you've got the hand. Like, holy crap, that was good. Let's play that again. That was nice. I want to watch that again. Your hand just comes forward. It doesn't go back. It doesn't pump. It just extends onto a target. Look at that. The hand, like your body went down, your hand extended, and now I'm going to say you got lucky as all heck that he bounced forward at the same time you went forward. I'm going to say partial, he screwed up. Partial, your hand was amazing. And you just got real lucky on both to line up. Because your back leg, watch your foot. Your foot's like right here, right? All right. Look at where your back leg is starting. Your back leg is starting a foot behind you. Right? So because your back leg's starting so far behind you, if he hadn't bounced forward at that exact moment, or hadn't like inched forward, you would have fallen short. You needed like every millimeter worth of movement right here, and you just got lucky that it lined up.
Yeah!
Yeah, he came forward at the same time you
Nice.
did, and it just worked. You got really lucky. Yep, he just finished. So you might add a chance if your hand was a little bit more forward, so it could have acted better as a better buckler. You don't need to hold it. You don't need to hold it. It's fine. It's fine. Just come back on guard.
Ready, fence.
Oh, yeah. He just finished first. Alright, bout three. Look at the arm extension differences. Oh. The other fencer's just, you can already feel has got an experience on angulation in order to get some of those closer in shots.
Ready, go, fence.
Okay. I like where you're trying to go with that hand. Oh, that was nearly wrist. If we can just get it to land that would have been a point. Oh. Alright, so remember what I said before about with your foot and shin being in front of your bell guard? That's why he's going for it. Yeah, look at... I'm gonna try to stop it. Point. Like, look right there. Your shin is nearly in front of your bell guard. And there's a couple, like, quite a few times now in this bout alone where your shin ends up in front of your bell guard. Yep, see when you pull your weapon back? Shin ends up in front of it. And that's why he's going for it. It's because your whole leg ends up in front of your weapon, and suddenly it's a target. It's a really juicy target. Ooh, nice. Nice response there. You picked him up. I mean, at the same time, if you're doing this consciously, which I don't think you are, but if you were to be doing this consciously, like, man, it's a great tactic. But you gotta be doing it consciously. Otherwise, these guys can and will just start eating. Yep. Alright, bout 4. Oh, this one was so ugly. I remember this one now. This whole second strip was just very infighty and ugly. This guy's really asking for his offhand to get stabbed, but he also knows how to infight, so it goes both ways. Hey, I think you picked that one up. Nice. You did. Oh, be very careful. Okay. Actually, I need to go back for a second. Alright, you raised your hand up. He's trying to flesh in. Look how straight up and down your legs are. You're standing. Do something. Ah. Alright, but look at... Do you see how you're, like, bent forward? Again, it's this hand. Put this hand on your side, on your hip. Put it next to you, in front of you. Something. I don't care. We gotta get you to stand up straight. It will help. Alright, right here. Do you see this moment right here? When you two come in and he nearly but doesn't run into you and you start to turn your back on him. I do not believe there was a card at this moment. There should have been. There should have been a card for turning the back. Be careful. Be careful. Oh, keep going. Keep going. You should have remised. You could have. Oh, no. I think at this... No, I don't know what you're trying to do at this point. I can see what you were trying to do. That was awkward. Oh, yeah, he just had to finish for the double. Maybe I should give you guys all kettlebells that you have to, like, hold with your back hand.
Come on, Peter.
Maybe that'll, like, make you put them in front. This fencer is probably actually like a really good way for you to learn because he holds his blade low and in one spot like you do. Alright, now you're trying something different. I actually kind of like it. You're like two weeks ahead of the lesson that we did on that exact motion, but I like that you're trying to do it in a tournament. I think I remember coming up to you though, right after that point or right around it, and telling you to not do weird things. Specifically because we hadn't done the lesson on it yet. After this tournament, I know that we did go actually and do the lesson, so now you should know how to do that in a bouting scenario 4 points. So now I'm okay with it, and you've done the lesson. I know you can do it now, but for this tournament, you didn't know how to do it yet. And when you started trying to do it, oh, I could instantly feel it was outside your wheelhouse. You weren't comfortable with it, but you just wanted some points and to try something new, which is reasonable. but that was the wrong way to do it. All right. Extend your arm! Ah!
Target.
Extend your arm. It does not need to be fully extended. It does not. It shouldn't be glued to your target. There should be some daylight between your elbow and your ribs. Bend your knees. Stand more over the back knee than the front knee. All right, last bout. All right, this other guy's springy. Peter, you really do have a nice, clean hand extension. If we can get you to learn how to turn that into like a disengage,
On guard.
oh, that'd be lethal.
Ready, fence. Stop, point. On guard. Ready, fence.
The fact you don't pump, you don't really, you just extend. It really is good. Where has this been the whole rest of the tournament? There is daylight between your elbow and your ribs. Where has that been? This is great. Alright, double touch. This other fencer is also willing to take his time, feel it a touch. And then he'll just, for whatever reason, get impatient at the very end like that. Look how much more mobile they are, though. With having their knees bent, weight more over the back foot. She's able to kind of bounce around and move as they need to versus you're more upright over the front leg.
Come on, Peter.
Nice. Oh, there you go. Front leg in front of the bell guard gets picked up. Nicely done. So, actually, I want to talk about that one right there for a second. So, do you see how his foot slides right there for a second? So he does a short little feint lunge, extends. Look at how spread out and how much he slid. His front foot slid right there. He has no balance right now. Right, his back foot has to come up to him. Then he has to come back on guard. But nowhere in there did you have your feet underneath you where you could follow up on him and catch him while he was sliding or otherwise like in a rough spot. If we can fix your feet more, oh, it will do wonders for you as a fencer. You've got the hand that just extends straight forward, that doesn't pump, that doesn't try to search. That alone, oh, that's a massive skill. Like, good job, Peter. You've got the patience, good job. And there's a lot of other things too in there that are good. So 3 biggest things. Stop putting your hand behind your back. We got to figure out somewhere else to put it. Bend your legs and bring your on guard more over your back leg. Shoot, is that all 3? Or is that 2 of my 3? Bend the back leg, bend the legs, over the back leg. Oh, and extend the arm. Yep, okay. So bend your legs, put your weight more over your back arm, and extend your arm just a little bit even when you're still in on guard. That would be such a help. So those 3 things, which honestly are pretty minor. Like, extend your arm, stop putting your hand behind your back, bend your legs. That's relatively minor. But I say that's relatively minor because they're fundamentals. And it's really, really hard for me right now to try and suggest and correct more complicated things without those first being fixed. So, I'd love to be able to say, hey, you should fix this parry and preem and do this, but I can't right now because some of the core fundamentals that we need to see fixed right now just aren't, and we got to get those before I can really help you with other pieces. So let's fix those core fundamentals, and I think it'll help a lot. All right, I hope this helps.